Hey guys, welcome back to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier review, episode 5,
One
which
more.
is the penultimate episode, second to last. So we've got here, a more self-reflective episode, plenty of scenes of that.
Montage.
Montages,
Rocket
multiple
had a
montages.
montage.
But I
That's what
mean,
was
it
thinking.
it actually starts really, really well. You have the immediate aftermath of the new Captain America, John Walker, who killed a man in front of everybody and started an international incident. He is off kilter, just running aimlessly a little bit, and here we go. I actually didn't expect there to be a fight scene. I know I should have, right? Because you know, hey, it's the new Cap. Let's beat him up or whatever. I don't like him, but I thought, because he's such an honorable soldier, that he would realize what he's done and kind of just.
I
they
knew
would
the
push
fight
him
was coming
aside.
up because he turned into Gollum. He's like, you can't take this as my precious. It's mine. He had
Yeah.
once he had the serum and
Yeah.
the power.
The
He's
serum.
like, yeah, this is this.
So
I
it's-
am Captain America. Goes, look, man, you're above over your head.
Yeah.
Give us a shield. It's like, no, it's mine. It's like, all right, fight.
Fight scene, and you're right, Joe. It's the serum because they set that up very well in the series that it makes you more you.
Yeah.
The probably a non-serum John Walker would have gave it up, but this one no. So we get a fight scene as they try to take him in, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it was great,
I liked it. Yeah.
fantastic. I thought they were gonna make actually the Winter Soldier arm a little weaker. I was like, don't you fucking do that. Where he slams up against something once and it goes.
I
and
was
I'm like,
pissed.
Ah!
I was fucking pissed.
Right. So I'm
when it
glad you were
happened.
with me, and I was like, okay, let's not.
Let's see what
let it
happens.
at.
All right, nothing happened. All right.
They end up defeating Walker, right? And I was like, okay, good. The arm actually still functions too. So I don't know
It's
what
vibranium.
they just tried to increase the tension, but they didn't need to do it that way, right? Anyways, during this fight, he does attempt to kill Falcon. I mean,
Yeah.
he literally rips Falcon's wings off,
Decapitate him as well.
and tries
Try
to decapitate him, even tries to kill Winter Soldier. But eventually they manage to subdue him. And I wouldn't say just barely. They handled him.
Yeah,
It was
they-
tough, but not, so
He broke his arm.
they broke his arm, right? And so it was cool, really, really cool. They have the fallout scene that, the soldier Lopez comes in that they had been, Sam has worked with in the past. Basically said, all this shit is now way out of our hands. This is higher pay grades. They got to decide what to do with all this stuff. Sam still has the shield, though. And he picks up as they're done talking, going off, and the mission completed. Going off, he takes the shield, and he leaves his wings. He's like, "Hey, man, you
Left
forgot
them.
your wings."
Keep him.
Hey, he's like, keep them. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So that is the transition point there. And honestly, let me say, this is the episode where Sam transitions into accepting that he's going to be the new Captain America without ever saying it. Without it was such a okay, then we're doing this now. There wasn't like a build up to it. It just started to happen, and I felt like that. I like it. It's almost like it was meant to happen, and that's kind of the way the episode treated it. Then we go to the trial of John Walker, which was great. A very emotionally charged scene. You can understand. The good thing is you can understand John Walker's point of view.
Yeah.
Being a soldier, and then the whole dynamics and politics of that. Just I did everything that you guys asked me to do. You built me, and then they're like, no pension, no nothing, no
fuck
rank,
you.
no get the fuck out because you kill it, and basically turning their backs on somebody who had dedicated his life to their rules and following their way, and that's not gonna end up well. So stay tuned to the end of this
He's
episode.
already going crazy, man. He lost his best friend too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. There's a stinger at the end. But overall, what did you guys think of this episode?
I thought this was done very well. I do like this one was more of a deep story, emotional. But the thing that I didn't like is like they had the little buddy they spent more time with Sam and Bucky, but I felt like there's one more episode to go. We still need to find out Power Man 5000 is all that fun stuff.
Power
Bang,
broker.
But
Yeah, it seems like only one episode left to wrap up multiple
Yeah.
threads.
Hey,
Is
maybe
that
it's 4
enough
hours long.
time? Is that enough?
yeah, right.
This episode was the longest of all the episodes
was.
at 61
But at the
minutes.
same time, they should have done that in the beginning. But I still love this episode. It was great for me. But one more episode to go. There's a lot to wrap up.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about you, Alex?
Yeah, in a vacuum on its own, I think this is my favorite episode. I thought it was amazing. There were some gripes I have. The director of the wanted to do a couple scenes super close up shaky cam.
That's funny. I thought you were going to say the opposite, Alex. You actually like this episode?
I do like this episode quite a bit. The shaky cam up close shit is awful. Disney
that's
streaming
what you were talking about.
Disney streaming service is low FPS a lot of the time, and there's
Yeah.
a couple scenes where they're doing it where it
Well,
looks
that
terrible.
might be my setup with the computer. I don't think.
Even when I'm watching it at home, it looks bad.
Really?
Like there was really no need for some of those
There's
things.
something with the HDR and the frame rate when we watch Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same. If it's the same for you guys, that Disney Plus technically seems like it could be better on the technical
Yeah.
side of things. Leave a comment. I'm very curious.
And then there was two scenes that were clearly out of order, which was odd. The montage was definitely out in the wrong sequence of the show.
Right, because
it's
it
clearly
seemed like
out
he
of
was
order.
a little incompetent with the shield,
Yeah.
but we had already seen that
Yeah.
he was somewhat competent.
It was just jarring because like we see him with a master of the
I
shield.
played that off as he was throwing it much faster this time, and then the speed was much faster.
But
No,
they're
no.
playing catch with the shield.
Yeah, like they're playing catch with the shield. Like he's a master of the shield
like
at this point,
ricocheting
and then they show the
everywhere.
montage where he doesn't know how to
I
use the
did
shield.
notice that.
So it's like okay, two minor mistakes, but this is my favorite. I think the fight scenes were good.
Yeah.
There are times where sometimes story building and character development, there's always a balance of like how much do you have, when does it become redundant, when is it not necessary, and I think that we've had so much other stuff going on that it was nice to catch back up with these characters and get different
Yeah.
points
Yeah.
of views and answer some questions that we've got all the way back from Endgame, where it's like we do know that now that Steve talked with Bucky saying, look, I'm giving Sam the shield. We know that now.
was cool.
There's a lot of
little
cool
nugget
insight
information.
that happened in this episode, and I think, like I said, my favorite so far.
Hell yeah, I did not expect that at all.
That shaky cam's bullshit.
And I
Cut that
agree.
shit
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, you do gotta give him shit for that. And I'm of the same opinion that you don't need explosions and
No.
action and galactic threats always to get a higher rating for me or to really enjoy this particular episode. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was well shot. I thought the reflection scenes were spot on. I thought it created new interesting pathways. It concluded John Walker's story, but also created a new interesting
tangent
thread
off,
line that goes off in a different direction. And then I just love also it deals a lot with race issues. They
Yeah.
go back to Bradley, Isaiah Bradley. It's kind of resolved that plot line. By the way, his what is it? Grandson or something, caretaker. The guy in basketball is always kind of protective. He's a superhero in Marvel,
Is he?
and he's gonna eventually. I forget who he is. Somebody in comments get my back, but he
Okay.
might show up again. Just letting y'all know. Anyways, so I thought it was really well done, and then also they don't dance around the topic here. Okay, that Marvel hits the topic hard where it's, can a African American be Captain America, and
Represent
should
the
he be
stripes and
Captain America,
stars.
and how would an African American feel about being Captain America? It's like, well, fuck you guys, Obviously, this it deals with some heavy topics, and I think that it handles those topics extremely, extremely well. And I'll say more about it in a bit. Let's go back to the episode summary, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty, which was so we left off, at the trial of John Walker. But immediately, this is the only thing I'm like, oh, come on. But it's setting up stuff for the future. And it's in that context, if you resolve that storyline and then leave it open for the future, maybe U.S. agent, they introduce a new character. Okay? New character right in the last fucking episode, the penultimate episode. This character named Val.
Val.
She shows up. It's who is this?
Julia
Ellen-
Louis
or
Dreyfus.
not, Elaine. From
Elaine, yeah, Dreyfus
Seinfeld.
shows up, and it's cool that she's in the Marvel universe now. I like her. Obviously Seinfeld was a great show, and but she's very forceful, strong, mysterious, and she seems to be with a government agency or maybe her own agency or something.
She's a bad guy.
We have no idea. I think she's a good guy, bad guy, where it's like it's an agency that operates,
Underground. Yeah.
Parallel to the government, but still has a government interest. Because I'm trying to set up U.S. agent. I'm trying to. She's like, you're going to be U.S. agent. She gives them a card. I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see what the card says. It's going to be a U.S. agent or
Nothing
something.
on here.
And it's black on
blank.
one side and white on the other. There's nothing on the fucking card. So interesting, nice little nugget left there
Maybe
for the
needs to
future.
scratch it off.
I'm gonna be pissed if they don't resolve that, but of course I don't know if they don't have time to resolve that here. Do you think in the last
setting up a
episode?
new series.
Setting up a new series. Don't let that fall by the wayside. Damn it. Anyways, so the main storyline here, or one of the subplots, is the GRC has shut down all the people harboring the rebels, and that spurs the rebels into their final act, their final action. How dare they? And they want to, shut down this international, meeting between them to decide the fate of some refugees. So the rebels or the flag smashers are going to decide to take this over. So they're in the background planning that. Then we get the resolution of Baron. How do you guys feel about the resolution of Baron?
I think it was done well. Yeah, because I still like Zemo.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah,
want him-
Zemo's fucking amazing. I
want him
love
to
him,
come back
and
somehow.
I
But-
expected Zemo to have some plan, right? Like he actually surrounded
I'm-
Winter Soldier.
He always has a plan. I think he does.
He did not spend the
escaped.
last several days in freedom drinking tea and Turkish delight. Like he knows
Yeah.
exactly where he's going.
But I
and
do like that Winter Soldier makes it seem like he's gonna kill him because obviously he hates Zemo. They have history, but instead, click. Perfect scene, drops the bullet, slow mo. Yeah, it's a little trophy, but I loved it. And Zemo's like, yeah, and then he looks back. Here comes the
Ladies.
Wakandan warriors. Ladies, they're like, don't worry, we're gonna, he's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison
So they
with
think.
us. Yeah, like I said, Alex says he's planted his escape plan, and I do hope that he escapes because he's a fascinating character now
Yes.
within the Marvel universe. And
what a weird timeline.
they
to
let him
in.
live.
We like Zemo. We hate Captain
It's so
America.
weird, and then, but I missed this. Maybe one of you guys can tell me, or somebody in comments. It says something about the White Wolf. Well, what is that?
Bucky.
Bucky's
Like,
white. Bucky's
I
white.
know
wolf.
the I
They
know
just
the
like
White.
stay away.
Just make yourself scarce in Wakanda for a while. It's like, look, you
Oh,
are
okay.
on our
Yeah.
shit list. You let this
Gotcha.
guy out. We don't like
Gotcha,
you. Yeah.
right? Because they didn't like the fact that he worked with
They're
Zemo.
like, you have one day. And it's
But
like,
he
nope.
does ask for another favor, and the Wakandans are so fucking badass. We're like, all right. And we learn what that is later. But here is where we get to the serious stuff. Sam then visits Isaiah Bradley with the shield. Don't take that out here. No, I don't want to see that. The stars and stripes don't mean anything to me anymore. Makes total sense from how they basically
They treated him. Yeah.
right.
Put him in
So
prison,
they tell.
studied him and everything.
I was so fascinated with like,
yeah,
what the fuck
I
has this
was-
guy
that's
been?
why I like that episode.
Yeah.
that scene.
So where has he been, Joe?
In hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically after they
Why
were
wasn't he?
experimenting
Yeah.
him, there was a nurse that took pity on him and declared him dead.
Yeah.
So he's just been hiding.
Yeah, but why was he shunned, and why wasn't he maybe lined up for a future public eye thing?
I mean,
He didn't fit the criteria.
Well, that's true, and also he tells a story about how they tried several versions of super serum soldiers on him and his bros, and they went out on missions, and ended up a few of his guys. Serum probably didn't work so well on them; they got captured. And he's just like he says, I'm just like you, the Falcon. He follows the rules, does the missions, and then he's like, they didn't want to save him. In fact, they were talking about bombing the goddamn prison just to get rid of all the evidence and stuff and hide it. And he's like, nah, and he breaks out basically goes against the government and breaks all of his brothers out and brings them back. Again, doesn't matter much because he's
They
just
died
a
anyway.
tool.
Yeah.
You know, they're all tools of the government essentially. And so for that little infraction, they experiment him on him for the next 30 years to get that shit from him so that they can do it on somebody else. You know, and basically erased his existence. And then they say that, and he tells Falcon that they'll never let a black man be Captain America. And no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. Because obviously this is his perspective, right? Because his perspective is super jaded, but it is a very legitimate one. And like I said, it deals with some heavy-ass issues of race that this country, you know, has dealt with since its inception. And I like how it addresses that. And
Filmed in Georgia.
I know.
When that came at the end, I was just like, ooh, maybe not
Georgia
not next season.
And now they're doing the voter laws. Did you see Will Smith's not doing his film in Georgia anymore because they're trying to suppress voters? So look, and these subjects are something that some folks would love to forget or pretend doesn't happen or isn't a thing. Because it harms their egos, you know, and I would just be so fucking annoyed if I, you know, see people like, you know, oh, this is ridiculous and this takes away from this and that, and you just, you know, people always shitting on this kind of stuff when they approach the subject of race and white relations and black relations and this kind of stuff. But I thought that it was handled extremely well, and so basically, you know, it gives Sam something to think about. That's one perspective. But Sam also has another perspective, and he sees that perspective when he goes back home. He's with his sister. He's with his sister's boys, you know, and they kind of look up to Sam. It's funny that they call him Uncle Sam, you know, and I'm like, oh, Uncle Sam, get it? You know, he's a hero of himself.
Sam wants you.
But the government basically benches both Winter Soldier and Falcon, so they have a little bit of extra time. And so then that's when Falcon goes home, teams up with his sister to work on the boat. How are we going to do this? You know, the bank and all this other bullshit. Let's call in some favors. Our parents were really good in the community. So a bunch of people show up, help them work on the boat, including Winter Soldier. Great scenes. We got the preparing the boat montage, some funny stuff there. He's like, says hi to his sister. Yeah, says hi to his sister. Don't flirt with my sister. I loved it. And so, and while this is going on and they're building more rapport with each other, this is the stuff I'd like to see because it's like, all right, now they're friends. They don't want to say they're friends, but they're fucking friends after that.
You don't use your only
together.
Wakandan favor, drop off $1 trillion suitcase, and not be friends. It's just like it's pretty clear. It's like whatever's in that suitcase is invaluable.
Yeah, and while that's happening, we get another Walker scene. He visits the Battlestar family. You know, that soldier that passed away, and he basically lies to them.
He's trying to get.
He's like, I don't know. I think he actually believes it. Even though it's clearly, you know, it wasn't that guy's fault. You know, that guy didn't kill, you know, his friend. But I guess in his mind, he's responsible because they're all. I
just thought like that scene was just basically him giving the parents closure. He knows it's unfinished, but he's just trying to give them closure.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived it as.
Okay, I think it's both because you know he also says in the trial, no, that guy was responsible. He's the one. You know, so he's lying. He's lying to them. He's lying to himself, and so he can deal with it in a twisted way. And he's like, "I'll always be here for y'all. If you need anything, let me know." And then he goes off. But it's good to see that
sister kind of gave that look like I don't trust you.
Yeah, I did notice that. But I like this that they're building this morally gray character. He's still doing the right thing, but then mixing it with some,
in his head he is
some wrong things. And then we get a tiny 5-second scene of Sharon. I'm trying to look for how Sharon's gonna factor in here.
I think your early prediction is right.
I'm so happy. Like I actually got something right, and I didn't pick that up from anybody.
This time I'll double it. I was like,
well, she broke that guy out of prison. You know, GSP is she's the one who broke him out.
She says Sharon pays double. She's paying double for something, and she
She gets, GSP out of prison, out of Algerian
Who's
prison.
this guy GSP?
Yeah.
And what the fuck is she doing? Like that's gonna lead to a harder time for our heroes, and obviously a very dangerous situation.
Well, he wants to kill Sam, and so she gets the guy who wants to kill Sam out of prison. It's like, this has got to be some complicated thing.
I don't understand. I thought she's supposed to be a good guy. So
Well, she hates Sam.
Now she does.
But why?
Because they got to go home. They were all on the run, and everyone got pardoned but her because
Yeah,
we
but
don't know
that's,
why.
that motivation.
Resentment.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
Hell hath no fury, my friend.
all right.
Okay?
I guess you're
Like
right.
Iron's Fury.
Anyways, then we get the montage of Sam and Winter Soldier sort of throwing around the shield, and Sam gives some great fucking advice. Like Sam, just all these little nuggets of life advice that Sam gives makes me feel like he's very much like Steve in having a good heart and knowing the right thing to do. So he gives Winter Soldier some great advice to just finish making amends, and you have to not just do it for you, but also do it for the people. You make their lives complete and make them feel better, or try to at least. And he's like, start with one. Always like that. That was, remember in Justice League, Batman was like, just save one. That was like one good Whedon edition, and it was gone in the Snyder
He
cut.
saved the truck people, right?
Yeah. a stupid one, but a one. And then they're like, hey, we're just a couple of guys. Okay. And they just want to make clear, hey, we're not officially a couple. We're not going to be fighting together every fucking time we're out
we
here.
used to have a mutual friend. Now we don't.
No,
so
we
we're
don't.
just
So we're a
couple
couple of guys. But no, they're goddamn it. I wouldn't appreciate that. I want them together always.
they are.
And then
I like that.
we get 3 more scenes. Rebels here get that fighter. What's his name?
GSP.
GSP to help them because he really wants to kill Falcon because Falcon punched him in the face, I guess. Got the better of him. But whatever. They need a new villain for Falcon to
I thought he
face.
died.
Me too. That's what I was like. I thought he died.
Didn't he explode?
I thought
There's
so.
no way he had a.
Is this
well,
a
I guess
different?
he had a
Maybe y'all are
parachute.
thinking.
This
No,
is
it's the same one.
GSP. His
Same
name in the
That's
thing
the
is even
same one.
George.
Yeah.
So Sam opens the box that he got from Wakanda, and he
Pulp
stares
Fiction
down.
does.
We don't see it. We don't see it. And he prepares himself to don for what we assume is the new
suit.
Captain America
Yep.
suit. And then we get the stinger at the end where it's John Walker. He's building something. What is he building?
Something
A
very
shoddy
poorly.
ass
It's a
shield.
shield.
Yeah.
Oh, me and Alex noticed. Alex was like, "That's a really
A terrible welding.
terrible
job.
welding job. Those Medal of Honors are just gonna fall right off."
Yeah.
It's like he needs some help from some cosplayers.
Yeah, he
I've
does.
seen some better work from them.
So maybe John Walker's not over. I think he's gonna go a little crazy, and he wants revenge of his own. So it's gonna culminate
sure.
into a scene
unfinished.
of what would you call it? A triple battle. You got John Walker showing up. Probably, and then of course, our team, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the Flag Smashers, and that's going to be the climax. And hopefully, we get a resolution of Sharon / Power Broker, and
Possibly,
who the fuck
question
this
mark?
Val lady is. And
Yeah, I'm
I
hoping-
just assumed that at some point we were getting Black Widow in this series, but no, or there was
Why did
no.
you have
That was the trailer for
Loki.
Loki. Never mind, I'm mixing these up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I think Zemo's right that it's like you don't get to just throw Carly in jail and like you got to put a bullet in her head. That's pretty much the way you get these
That's
people to
what
stop.
Zemo
And
said.
I
Yeah,
imagine
she's
that
going
that's going to
crazy.
be where John Walker comes in, and it's like a convenient. Like that guy has no problem shooting people
Yeah.
and killing people, so it's like a convenient way to kind of close everything out. And
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's building a shield of his own, so he'll probably come in as a bastardized version of Captain America. Then at the end, here's how I think it's going to go. They do that, and then Val will save him at the end or say, you're still salvageable. You're going to be U.S. agent.
she's gonna
Come on,
pull him up,
Fresh.
Mustafar.
Yeah, and then we're going to see the reveal of Sam as Captain America, which is going to be cool as hell.
Yeah.
I think that he's earned it. I think this series has definitely convinced me. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the Falcon. I didn't really like the Falcon character. I thought he was a B team, C team. Like, who the hell likes the Falcon, right? And it's so boring.
And
It's
that's
so
what
stupid.
Marvel does with their amazing writing.
And
I was like,
these
okay, I
fucking
turn around.
shows, like that moment where he's on the fucking dock and he's just talking, and I'm like, I really like the Falcon. I'm like, son of a bitch.
He's so wise.
You got me. And,
Sam the
and
Wise.
that's what these series will do. And
Yeah.
this is my pastime. This is my love, comics and superheroes and stuff. And I know people are getting, some people say, oh, we're sick of it. Shut up, man. You're sick of stories. You're sick of human drama, I guess. Nah, it's just a container to hold, good stories. And this was a good story. So final verdict for this one. I forgot to say it earlier. Did we even give final verdicts?
Not yet.
Okay, let's do it. Do it now.
Final verdicts. This one was done very well. I'm going to give this one a 9. I really liked the story. It got a lot of extra emotion from me. There's just little things I didn't like because there's so much that has to happen next episode.
I think it could be done in 1 hour.
In 1 hour, closure with GSP, the Flag Smashers, the Power Bank, or whatever.
GSP and Flag Smash is going to be the same.
And then I want to see Bucky go tell his story to the Chinese man that he killed his son.
Oh, right.
Because that's one thing that's kind of harboring him as well. And they're like best friends. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I do remember. I don't know if he's Chinese.
He's Japanese.
Oh, Japanese?
Japanese.
Yeah. So that's a lot to do in the next episode.
Yep.
Because that has to get
That
resolved.
is a lot. I will agree. It better be an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
To try to get. I think they could do it.
But
they might fuck up on the Bucky part.
Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Walker.
Well, but see here, the battle gets it all resolved. And if the battle's 30 minutes and then at the end of the battle, then they do the rest of the minutes for each resolution, I think it can be done. We'll see.
Well, yeah, but that's a lot. I just don't want
Alex,
everyone fight for 5 minutes. All right, these guys are dead.
It's going to be, it better be a
quick.
goddamn 20, 30-minute fight.
But yeah, everything else I loved. It was a great story, very emotional.
So I'm gonna judge it in a vacuum. I'm not gonna try to, I'll judge the entire series whether or not I feel like the pacing is appropriate. But for this one, I'm not taking into consideration what they still have to do because
Joe.
That's just it's in my opinion. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. And so I'm not reducing that point. So I think I'm gonna give this one a 10. This is definitely my favorite episode so far. I think it did almost everything well. Stop the shaky cam bullshit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think they did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna give it a 10, but I think so the shaky cam and some of the things and maybe a little longer cap fight scene, stuff like that. It's 9 out of 10. This is premium motherfucking stuff. And I didn't actually expect the penultimate episode to be so highly rated, right? You think that you're going to take that little dip, and then we're going to go up. So we'll see. Well, now we're up here.
Well, I hope we stay.
Oh, yeah, with the climax. Climax going to be one episode, episode 6. Very excited for it. Hope you guys are excited for it. Leave your comments down below where you think this is going and how this thing will wrap up and how you like it so far. And we will see you for the conclusion next week. All right. Around the same time Mortal Kombat
3 hours uncut. Do it. Release the uncut.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. We want to thank you guys for subscribing. And when you go above and beyond, like Joe's here, Mobile Infantry here on Patreon, supporting our show. And grab yourself some merch down below. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye.
Right.